Joey, only Caribou Weather Dude here. Let's get right to it. Subscribe, like, hit, share. This is a forecast for snowfall this weekend in British Columbia interior. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives, the aggregate of our joy and suffering. Every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. Looking at earth.nullschool.net today, still pretty cold across much of Canada. In fact, all of Canada is basically freezing at the surface. Some real cold going on still up at the North Pole. That's the kind of cold we don't want to see again this year, and we know that very much. A lot of it sitting in Siberia, and a little bit of it in Greenland and northern Canada. Just off the coast of British Columbia and Washington, we have a very big low pressure system. Low pressure likes to go counterclockwise, as you see. And this is sort of why we've had trouble deciding exactly who and where and how all the snow happens this weekend. We do know that California is going to get a lot of precipitation. They've been 170% of their annual snowpack. That low, very deep, spinning pretty hard. Let's have a look around at what it's actually doing. So here we are in trusty windy Wednesday, 5 p.m. And you see that low, the way it's behaving. It's just throwing a little bit of snow at times into the BC interior, but most of it hitting into Oregon. Portland been getting a lot of that. I've been hearing my friends at Portland Weather Uncensored talking about all the snow and rain a lot lately. Hey, Brian Schmidt and the gang down there. Hope you make it on the show this week. See Thursday, a little bit of that starting to get into the southern interior BC. Frankie McDonald's been making big time predictions for California, and you can see why. It's like that atmospheric river extends way out, and it's been going on for a couple of weeks now, this line of moisture, moving around, morphing, coming from different places. Now it's sort of coming from the Hawaiian Islands area, more or less, and we see that low as we get into Friday, 2 a.m., just destroying the United States. Big time precipitation in California. And a lot of those places aren't really set for that. Friday, 10 a.m., coming into southern BC. Kelowna, Kamloops, heavy bands near through Trail. So definitely look for possible weather warnings in Lethbridge, Calgary, in the boundary area, southeastern BC areas. Touches of snow coming around through lower mainland, mostly missing. That heads up and warps around through northern BC along the side of the mountain, stays Alberta side, but goes into British Columbia through Fort St. John, where Saturday already they're getting quite a bit of snow at 2 a.m. That low continues its churn. You just see how wide the area it's affecting is. 9 a.m. Saturday, most of that interior staying kind of dry, but you can see down by the mountains of Kelowna, the mountains of Kamloops, in through the Coast Mountains. Definitely if you're going to be traveling down the 99 highway on Saturday, you might see some of that mixed condition. Low big time affecting through Saturday night onto the coast. Definitely Haida Gwaii. Could be snow on Haida Gwaii, snow on Vancouver Island, possibly snow around Vancouver. How much? I'm not here to report on Vancouver. There's lots of places that do that. I'm only talking BC interior mostly, and places that aren't Vancouver really. I try to help people in BC who don't have access to weather reports so much. So many of you will find those things you're looking for. So a lot of us, we were expecting snow earlier in the weekend through Caribou and whatnot, but that's been pushed back just because of the way these lows have been kind of working. And it's not that, I mean, this is just one model, the ECMWF. It's the one I prefer. Certainly by Monday, that's moving inland. Big time precipitation. That's Harrison Lake area up into Boston Bar. And that low sitting basically right on Vancouver Island, bringing heavy precipitation between Port Alberni and Tofino. I'm sure that if you're on that Malahat Highway, you'll run into Monday morning very heavy rain and possibly a mix of snow, possibly some freezing rain and stuff up through the Islands Parkway. Just be wary of that as you start your work week. That stays away. So we don't want to try reporting as if like we know exactly what's going to happen on Monday, but this is starting to finally give us a real view of how this low might really impact BC. And of course, possibility of rain, freezing rain mixes in through Hope and whatnot. So Monday, 8 a.m., snow going on in Boston, Bar, Lytton, snow up through Pemberton, Whistler, Gold Bridge, Lillooet even, Cache Creek, Little Fort, Kamloops, Williams Lake getting a pass for a little bit at that time of day. Caribou Mountains here, dumping good. Temperatures hovering around 0 in some places and warmer up through parts of the interior. You're going to see what feels a little bit like Chinook as it draws weather in from the south on its southern wrap, it will bring some warmer temperatures up. You see already Calgary at 0, Edmonton at -8. So that's what you might say Chinook is going on Monday. That low passing through BC overnight into Tuesday morning, sending it into the prairies. But yeah, lots of weather coming, and it's going to be hit or miss. This may not be exactly how it looks and how it happens, but it gives you a bit of an idea of what to probably expect. And as the days get closer and closer, we'll have an even better picture. So look at where new snow is going to be. And over the next 3 days, definitely through California. That's in those mountains, some of the big ones, man. That is pretty exciting for them. But it's the next 5 days for BC where we start to move that up into southern BC. So that's brings us to Friday morning, Saturday night. Who's going to get it through the coast? Sure. Next 10 days, well, that's where we see on this map Monday and beyond. So most of BC is going to get bits of this. You know, the very least seems to be Williams Lake area getting a bit of a pass. You know, some areas just west of Quesnel getting a bit of a pass. Lots of snow, though, in the Coast Mountains, especially up through the southern Coast Mountains. Vancouver Island, we're going to see some avalanche activity ramping back up. Thank you, Champagne Powder, John Snow, Peter Parka. The upper cold trough. As an upper low develops into a surface low near Haida this morning, it will move south towards the Washington State coast and replace the surface low that was there for the past week or so. It will continue to give flurries to the southwest ranges until Friday, when it will move inland and spread snow to the southern interior ranges. Freezing levels will remain remarkably predictable with diurnal cycles and no significant peaks or troughs. A broad base upper cold trough encompassing Western Canada remains in place for the foreseeable future. An upper low northwest of Vancouver Island will move towards the Washington and Oregon coast today and tonight. The system will be the weather maker across the southwest ranges over the next several days. Subtleties in the upper flow pattern will dictate where flurries develop and accumulate. This brings us to Friday, Saturday on BC coast. The low off Washington coast will move inland. Snow will return to the southwest ranges with freezing levels between 800 and 1,000 meters. The Cascades look to receive the brunt of snowfall, 10 to 20 centimeters of snow. On Saturday, the snow will continue over the northwest ranges. A low pressure center west of Haida Gwaii will bring a chance of flurries to the northwest ranges. Freezing levels for the north coast will remain near valley bottom in the morning, rising up near 500 meters in the afternoon. This weekend, the BC interior, a storm will arrive Friday as the low off of Washington coast moves inland. Expect heavy snow Friday afternoon and Friday night with totals potentially topping 30 centimeters. Ridgetop winds will be moderate southeasterly ahead of the low, changing to south 30 to 50 kilometers an hour, then west 40 kilometers an hour in the wake of the low. On Saturday, unsettled conditions are expected in the wake of the storm with a chance of flurries. Freezing levels near valley bottom in the morning, rising to 800 meters in the afternoon for the southern interior ranges, and remaining near valley bottom for the central interior and North Rockies. In the Yukon, blizzard conditions with falling snow and ridgetop winds north 50 kilometers an hour, gusting to 70 on Friday. Alpine high near -18 and low near -22. Snow and blowing snow Saturday morning with northeast winds of 30 to 40 kilometers an hour, gusting to 60. The snow will end Saturday morning, but continue northeast wind, expecting blowing snow to continue over exposed areas through Sunday morning. The Alpine high -15 and low near -19. So that's for the South Klondike. Alberta Rockies, the system moving into the border will spread cloud and snow from south to north, covering the Alberta Rockies by Friday morning. 2 to 5 centimeters of snow is expected between Kakwa and Little Yoho, 5 to 10 centimeters in Banff National Park and Kootenay, 10 to 15 centimeters over Kananaskis and south. Moderate to strong southeasterly ridgetop winds expected for most of the range. Alpine temperatures will stay between -10 and -20 Celsius. Instability at ridgetop behind the aforementioned system will keep some of the scattered clouds and flurries across southern range. Instability at ridgetop behind the aforementioned system will keep some of the scattered clouds and flurries across the range on Saturday with trace accumulations. A further 5 centimeters is possible over Waterton Lakes National Park. Southwesterly ridgetop winds will be light to moderate to strong south of Highwood Pass. Alpine temperatures remain in the -10 to -20 range. So that's basically your forecast for this weekend. Snow and still going to be cold. It's still winter. I mean, like I was saying yesterday, meteorological spring, well, there's some signs of it at the window, but I mean, if you look at the snowbanks, it's still winter, and I expect more of that to happen still. So please, thanks, subscribe, keep watching my videos. It's helping me get through the winter. Bye.